It's Little Satan, and welcome to Little Satan's loot can of treasures or garbage. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, staying beautiful. Alright guys, as you guys can tell, probably guessed with the project, action figures are heavily important with it. Couldn't really do a lot without it, and it's a lot of what the project's based off of. So with that, if you guys were guessing or wondering where we get our action figures from, or where we have collected or gathered our collection from, that would be the wonderful Treasure Cove of Wonders vintage stock, a true customizer's paradise. You can get all kinds of action figures from there, used, brand new, and among those trips, which we do there frequently, we normally gather used figurines and a mix of figurines still in the package. But this trip, we actually gathered only figurines that were still in package. And with that, me and Little Satan was thinking it was a good idea, of them being brand new figurines, to review them and give the input on the style of them, the usage of the action figures, the overall in general, and what we plan on using them for, so you get an idea of what we look for in figurines and why we buy the certain figurines that we do get, or just a general idea of what we use them for. So we'll get Little Satan out of the way here in his loot can of treasure or garbage. And as you guys can see, we actually have a very good selection here on figurines. We actually got a Marvel Legends current generation right now. We have a DC Universe Harley Quinn. We got a Black Series TIE Fighter. We have, I'm not sure what year, but an older McFarlane military. And then we also picked up a older 2000 Lord of the Rings action figure. So, very different styles here, very different genres, entirely different bodies. I figured we'd start off with the Lord of the Rings figurine right here. Not really a fan of the paint job whatsoever for the ghost look on that. We mainly got him for the sword and the dagger he has right here, which the dagger was really nice. I love the handle. The blade probably won't be used for much besides, probably not anything. I just don't, the style of the blade. Same with the long sword. If the blade's used for anything, it'd be like extra parts. It's just too damaged. We mainly got it for the handle right here. It's just a nice two-handed long sword. And the scalper was in great condition. The cloth pieces, a lot of them can just easily come off of him. His body is stuck in too much of a pose that, I guess, throwing an energy blast and trying to jab or anything else on his free time. Ghost projection. But other than that, his crown was another reason we picked it up. We plan on taking these off of here, and then we'll just build off of that as another crown piece. Because we have the plans of, for our Kings of Valkyrie, we'll more or less have a bird coming up the back of here. This will be where a bird's head is, and the wings wrap right around here. So it's almost like a bird is on the back, grabbing your head. So this may be one of the crowns that end up being used to build off that. Other than that, the figurine wasn't of too much use. I think he was only $10, but worth it because of the weapons. You have to commend them on the packaging, because if you were a heavy collector, to have a package that you could easily just split right here and then still open up almost like a book to show off the entire figurine and still be able to easily shut it without any package damage is amazing. No one else is really doing that nowadays in packaging. They don't really care about that. There's usually nice artwork on the packaging, but not show-offing as a collector like that. I mean, take for our next figurine, the McFarlane one, is amazing detail, but as my wife pointed out as we were looking at him, the packaging he was in, he's stuck in this pose, and he didn't even have the weapon in his hand. That's why I don't have it currently in his hand. It's currently sitting right there on the ground. But he was just sitting in this set pose, almost like this, in the package. And as a collector, if you weren't going to open it, as most people don't do with McFarlane stuff, it would be in a terrible position. It was not even in a set to show it off or anything. But let alone the reason we got him was just purely for the packaging. As you can see, this is a removable package right here. Right back here, we usually pick up cheap military figurines that have this exact packaging on there, and we use it. It's easy to split these two off of right here, and you actually get 3 packages out of that one. And because of that slit right here with the detail on the side, you can just glue that back right there, and you won't be able to tell from where you cut it from. There's another package right here. His backpack is just full of details. It's actually pure plastic. It's easy to remove. I actually started, right when I removed it from the package, already started removing it. As you can see right there, just purely done. Oh, look, see? Came off right there. And actually has a separate back piece as a rubber piece for more little details right there, but it's a hollow backpack. Removable straps up here. I guess not removable, but removable with my X-Acto knife, as most things are. And his helmet, the goggles are not fully attached, so we will remove them. So he was merely bought for just the pieces and the weapons, because let alone in his holster, he has a removable pistol. Which that was amazing. I was hoping for, I saw him in the package, I was like, with McFarlane, he normally does that. If he's gonna put something in the holster right there, it's gonna be removable, even if it makes no sense. If it makes no sense, I mean, this figurine can't hold the pistol. I mean, he physically can hold the pistol, but he looks utterly retarded. I mean, he's just holding it, he would have to hold it there, and then you maybe would position this hand down. But he's purely designed to hold his machine gun, so this was purely for no reason. An extra design, just extra detail McFarlane likes to go out of his way to do, to make sure you have all of that. You can see there's a few more packages in here. We should be able to cut that off with the X-Acto knife. If we go right up in here into the armpit, we can get those off without any damage at the top, and you won't be able to tell. Especially with hot glue, because if there is any curve marks on the package, we'll just fill that out with hot glue. And just round, as long as after we fill it right in, we'll just take the tip of the hot glue gun, we'll just round the tip right off of it, and it'll smooth it right out. Sorry about if you guys hear me a little stuffy. I'm starting to get a cold or sinuses, lack of sleep a little bit. I'm just feeling under the weather, so a little mucusy, so mind me on that, guys. But his machine gun, let you guys know now, I am not an expert on firearms or the names of them. But this machine gun right here, this LMG basically, is just, beautiful. I wish it was chain fed. I wish he gave a clip or something, but he instead designed it with a magazine in it, which was really odd. I guess it's very simple. I guess I didn't know a magazine could. As you can see, there's 2 entrances right there, so maybe the chain fed can go there and the clip's designed to go there. I'm not sure, but I wasn't sure that magazines could go into those type of guns. The strap was really unique because, as you can see, it's designed with a clip there, buckle there, straps, buckle, so much little design. It's just pure bendable plastic. If anything, we probably will not leave it on this weapon, but we'll probably cut the connector, that connector, and that connector, leave it there, and attach it to another weapon to use it for this same exact use, just not on this weapon. And this gun will probably just be chopped up immediately from there and there. The magazine will be used for our side pistols, which are pistols we design that are usually top of a revolver. It has a sight at the bottom, has a magazine fed at the top, but designs a revolver. It's a unique concept design, but that's for another video. Moving on from our oh wait, one last tidbit. This is really nitpicking on McFarlane, but in this military series, guys, he designed it, as we can see right here, I say the little plastic, McFarlane's military. So he was going out of his way to do this, basically. It wasn't even like the military was just, he just did it. He went out of the way to do this. So he set up designs for these figurines. And as we can see, with our Army Ranger that we got, he's set up in a shooting position, obviously taking action. Coming down here to our Army Desert Infantry, he's standing up, firing position, ready to go. But, okay, jump over to our Marine Corps Recon Sniper. He is set up, taking aim, ready to fire, but who he seems to shit on a little bit is the Air Force, which if you bought him is in a almost skipping yet running position. Like, okay, there was no other design you could have went with the Air Force Special Operations Commando that you wanted to do. Nothing involving planes, nothing in a better position, let alone just like firing. He's just in a running position. If you were Air Force and you bought that, you now have a figurine that's running from either explosions or gunfire, or he just decided to run. You're going to tell me he just decided to run like that for no reason? No, he's either getting shot at, explosions. Okay, we'll move on to our Marine Corps Recon right here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we have him in a crouched position as if he was walking in patrol, and he looks like deer in headlights. Like an explosion went off, something just caught him off guard. That boy is caught. He does not know what to do. He's not even got his rifle ready to go. He's just staring off and like, whoa. That, if that was in a movie, this man is making the face of a man who's about to eat an RPG sandwich. I guarantee you that. He is about to eat an RPG sandwich in one bite. He didn't know what to do, but thank you, ma'am. May I have another, mama? That was delicious. Hold the pickles on the next one. Cut it in half. He was about to eat an RPG. That's our Marine Corps Recon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. And then finally, for the piece of resistance, the Navy SEAL. Oh, I love that he went out of his way, put the Navy SEAL in the diving suit, but put him in sneaking position. So he has the diving suit on, he is just crouching, sneaking through somewhere. Oh, like, that's the best you could do, McFarlane? Like, that's the best offhand. Immediately, the first thing I would have done, that would probably have been more of a special piece, a little more expensive, but I would have designed it so you had a backdrop, okay, that was water, almost. And then the middle would have been a hard construct of water. That figurine would have been diving. And he would have been jumping in the water, face down, diving, body half in the water, legs half out, and it would have been a bigger statue piece. And as you can tell, he likes this, don't make the Navy Corps seem very useful or tough with this, so he decided, so it'd probably be best for him to have bullets firing in or explosions coming in. Still, people will be more happy with this because of the fact it would be a bigger set design. Instead, he's just, I just don't see the purpose of buying this if I was a Navy SEAL. I don't think it captures everything they do or anything. Let alone, it's just supposed to be, I guess he just wanted military figurines in random positions. I just don't feel like he made the best decisions on any of the Navy at all. I mean, the Marine Corps Sniper, I know we said he was ready to fire and go, but it's just could have been better as well. I don't know. A little disappointed on that. If I saw him, I would definitely buy him for the pieces, but if I was a collector or from that Pacific, if I was in the military and was either a Marine Corps, or Air Force, or Navy and went to buy this, I would be very disappointed because I just want what that, it's lackluster compared to the Army Ranger and the infantry. But like I said, that was nitpicking. Small little nitpicks. But moving on, apologize. Once again, I'm stuffed up. Alright, let's move on to our Black Series TIE Fighter, which we actually did not get from vintage stock. We stopped by Walmart on our way home, and as we were running through, I saw that they had all of their Black Series for $10. And being that they're normally $20, I decided I would run through it and look for a Stormtrooper. Normally we pick up Stormtroopers because of the body, the armor, it's usable. You can really, you tear them down, you really can't tell it's a Stormtrooper. It could be a knight, it could be just any fodder piece of armor to build off of, any base, really. But all they actually had was some Jyn Ersos and whoever the captain guy is that's with her, her father, and they had a TIE Fighter pilot, which was good enough as a Stormtrooper because he still had armor on him. Amazing figure, great articulation. Little hard on standing on his own. That's because he kind of has tiny baby feet. Only accessory he came with was his small little pistol right here. Very not really usable at all. We'll tear it down and cut it for pieces, like the handle, and be like small little bits to other guns, but not too many uses on his weapon. The nitpick with him was that there's no holster for the gun. That's not really the action figure or the company's fault at all. That's really George Lucas and whoever designed the outfit. Anybody on the new I know George Lucas isn't currently working with the Rogue One, but bear with me, whoever is working with the Rogue One and all the Force Awakens, the revival of Star Wars style, J.J. Abrams and all them, the style wasn't very, like, thought through on him. I mean, there's not a holster. So, just bear with me. So he's a TIE Fighter pilot, so he would just be in his ship, just going, and there's either his pistol is just sitting on his dashboard, just rattling around in there with him. There's a holster built. I'm gonna guess there's a holster built in the TIE Fighter for him. Like the holster, they decided that it'd be better to, instead of putting a holster on his outfit for the soldier to use, they would put it in my TIE Fighter. Like, if I got crashed anywhere, which we saw happen with Finn, I wouldn't need the gun on me anywhere. Like, there's no use of a holster. Like, that's just... There's these useless... There's one leg strap right there. There's another leg strap right there. There was no need to put a holster. Right there. Right there. I mean, his back is open. Literally, this is the tiniest pistol you guys could have gave him. So easily right there. Easily, with no problem. I mean, they gave him... 2 packages right here that have no details, pure box. I don't even know how that opens. That's just a box. And then they gave him a bigger 2 packages over here with flaps on it. So, but they couldn't spare the plastic for a holster. Nitpick aside. As we can see, he has some really usable electronics right here. Very Darth Vader-like control boxes. These will be great for cyborgs, robots, control panels for walls, any number of things, let alone there's options. Tubing, we have so much tubing, but it's always used for cyborgs or robotic pieces or lasers. Helmets, he's just a stormtrooper helmet, so we may use the base cut in half, but to have it unrecognizable, we actually don't use our stormtrooper helmets too much because the heads just are too recognizable. Oh, there's one other nitpick in the design. Sorry, guys. Was his arms. Like, the design of this, just how flat that is right there, how narrow that is, that just looks so uncomfortable. Like, you go move his arms up, and they actually don't get the full articulation like they're supposed to because of this gauntlet, this bracelet, this arm piece right here that doesn't really make any sense. And there's some buttons in here, I would suppose. Those are buttons, and some kind of control panel right here. I think it would have been smarter if it was up the arm. It'd be a little more tactical for a soldier on the go to just be able to use it like that instead of fully flat like his arm. But that's whatever. That's just, like I said, small nitpicks on it. The body will probably be used for our... In Newport, we have a more like Musketeers, and there's a division that are genetically enhanced animals that are more humanoid, and they're seen and used more as slaves, but they are still part of the Musketeer division, and his body is smaller to some of our Marvel Legends. If that figurine was standing up, if Grim Reaper is fully standing up taller, you'd see he's shorter than the rest of them. Alright. Moving on to our Harley Quinn, our DC Universe figurine. The most disappointing figurine we picked up in this entire set. As disappointing as the movie, as disappointing as the character, as disappointing as the DC Universe so far. Let alone, this figurine has so many nitpicks that it's let alone purely a scrap figurine. Like, the rest of the figurines have chances of getting used solid and actually have, like, hopes to use them. She's literally scrapped. She was literally only bought because she was, like, $10 and she had this baseball bat, which we need for another figurine that uses a baseball bat. In our Apocalypse for, it's like an inheritance passed down. The Green Bear used a baseball bat and passed down to that gear, passed down to her baseball bat, so we needed another baseball bat. That's purely why she was bought. And I mean, she has this pistol holster, which I guess we used. I mean, we actually never use any gun holsters, because I believe, like McFarlane, if we gotta give him a holster, you better put a gun in it. But the straps that the holster are connected to, that seems usable since they're easily removed. The figurine will be used like some Apocalypse stripper hooker pieces just because the netting is actually carved into the figurine. Her proportions are so weird. Look at her arms. Her shoulder begins here. There's her bicep. That's where it bends. That's where it swivels. That's where it in her bicep, and then right there's her elbow. So we'll give you guys a good idea. What? Why does it bend? That, okay, there's no human arm like that, and don't even get me started on the paint details. I mean, apparently Harley only felt the need to write on her front of her thighs, nowhere near on the back, the sides, her arms, anywhere else. She only had one tattoo on the face, guys, on this side. Remember, nowhere else. Yeah, that's... Alright, exactly accurate, guys. And if you're going to get figurines high heels, at least just make a thin piece of plastic down here at the bottom. You can still leave that open, but I know it's hard work, but a thin piece of plastic down here would let her be easily stood. Like, instead she just falls. As you can see, she was about to do right there, face plant. So she just did a Hillary Duff did. Lindsay Lohan did. About to do a whole bunch of cocaine. Now, she's nowhere near on the Hillary Duff status. I mean, look, see how flat that is? Not Hillary Duff. Definitely Lindsay Lohan did. Anyways. Oh, God. Here's me sniffing up my nose. Sound like I'm doing a bunch of cocaine. No. Stuffy as shit, guys. Alright. Now, as we can get right here, we have our Marvel Legends Grim Reaper, which, let alone, makes no sense. I mean, the character, not really the action figure. I mean, to have a scythe out your hand makes no sense. I mean, that's just so dumb, but that's Marvel, but some nitpicky areas. But the figurine, very basic. I'm very tired of Marvel. Just, I mean, it's their character designs too, not just the company, but just throwing out their figurines with nothing on them, just a flat body and a leotard apparently, or spray painted, and that's all he is really, is a cape, his head, and scythe, and just a basic painted body, the average Marvel Legend bigger body. I mean, I have plenty of these, use them on the regular, there's not any problems with them. His one's actually, limbs are actually straight, which is amazing for a Marvel Legends. You're lucky to get any with straight limbs. They're mostly all bent. Can't say the same for his scythe right here, as you can see that curve, and the curves in the blade right there. Not straight. Useless cape. We have boxes of capes. We really only got him because he was $10, and the scythe piece on him can be straightened and used as an extra body. You can see for his paint apps as a nitpick, he was heavily hit by Joker toxin apparently. Because it's funny, every time I see him in the comics or cartoon, he's never that psychotic, and he's got this whole hella head thing going on. But a 2-year-old painted his skull and crossbones. As another nitpick with him and Harley, actually, he came with this poorly painted Ultron leg, which is usable to us because of the fact that it's a cybernetic leg. It can be used in so many ways, the thigh, the lower leg, the foot, but it's so poorly painted, they only did the chrome paint on the front, didn't even touch the sides of the back. You can see, boom, right stops, just gray. So apparently he's only adamantium spray painted on the front, or halfway done, still processing. He's running dial-ups like, boop, 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 boop. Oh, we're nowhere near over here. And for Harley, what sucked with Grim Reaper is this is an average action figure leg. Usually the Build-A figures are so much bigger, so much detail. A figurine you couldn't get in the series, a figurine you couldn't pay for or would be too expensive. That's why they spread it all over several other figurines. This is average size. I mean, it's, you know, half his body, yeah, but it's just a plastic leg. Nothing really special to it, but it's just what you're building. It's not as bad as Harley Quinn's Build-A figure, as we can see right here. That is literally just an average action figure leg. It's just a sweatpants leg with a spike on it, painted gold on one side, and they didn't even finish painting it. And you can literally see where they stopped and didn't finish at all because, you know, fuck it. Like, it didn't matter. And it's just an average action figure. Like, you're supposed to buy her and just get this one-size leg. Hold on, guys. We have... Oh, there they are. As you can see with the rest of the series, you're supposed to build Croc, which is just an average action figure, a figurine that could have been added in this series. Nothing special, nothing you wouldn't have with anything else. I mean, let alone these terrible paint apps with these terrible figurines. They're just pure scrap figurines when we do buy them, or if we have bought them. But as you can see here, the inside of his thigh, the boot is supposed to be painted gold. They didn't even try to do that. You're supposed to give me a regular action figure leg, but yet you can't even paint it correctly. Okay, thank you guys. That's just great. And this figurine is terribly painted. It's so god-awful. It looks like he just got rubbed in dirt. It's just terrible. And then for the Marvel Legends figurine, this set was supposed to build Ultron from the movie series. That's fine. That's what they had to do. They had to sell it for its coming out. And the figurines they lined up for it don't really make sense. I mean, it doesn't line up with the movie, so you can see they were hinting towards the comics because they put Ant-Man, Wasp, and Giant Man in here, which is from the comic origins, that Ant-Man made Ultron instead of Iron Man. And instead they add the Wrecking Crew, Tiger Shark, and Grim Reaper, which makes no sense in this series. If it was me, I would still kept the movie Ant-Man, kept comic Wasp, I would have added Yellow Jacket in there, I would have added comic series Ant-Man in there for that style, and then if you wanted, because you're building this Ultron, go ahead and add comic Ultron in there. That would have blown the whole series. You made a pure Ant-Man series, which would have been hard to sell because not everyone's a super big Ant-Man fan, but they're buying it for this Ultron and getting a line that not other series have done yet and not going to have. You got Giant Man, you have movie Ant-Man, comic Wasp, Black Jacket, which is Ant-Man when he goes evil, and then you could have comic Ultron. That would be an amazing set. I would have probably bought that just because the pieces would have all been great. You would have finished out with movie Ultron. That would have been great. Pieces you don't have made sense instead of 3 random villains that don't make any sense. But that's just a small nitpick on those guys. Like I said, nitpicks and tips on them. Still amazing figurines that will be used in different ways. Is it treasure or is it garbage? I would rate it 1 rusty doubloon. But instead, since we don't have that, we'll have to use this halfway pentagram quarter. It rates out of 5 a 1 pentagram quarter. Results may vary on that rating system for those who do not have pentagram quarters or willing to make halfway pentagram quarters, but take that on your own accords. But no, it's great figurines. It's a great store if you guys get a chance to go by there, get all your customized needs, action figures needs, more or less. Like I said, very happy with the McFarlane. Nitpicks on his design decisions, but that don't affect me on my hobby. Great for the pieces. The Black Series was a good for the body. Okay decision here. This is mainly just because I had the extra money and the hilt pieces. This is literally only because of the baseball bat. I did not buy her when she first came out. I only got it because she was on sale and we needed the piece. Same with the Grim Reaper. We were not going to get him. That was literally because I was looking through the Marvel Legends. We found him. It was like, oh, hey, he's only like $10, so why not? And I could use a robot leg. I could use the extra scythe. And it's just an extra body for $10. That's not a bad find, honestly. And like I said with the Harley, she is a terrible figurine. Be used for scrap, but for the cash at that moment, great. But if you bought her retail or brand new, it's terrible. Much like any of that series line. I mean, all the figurines from that line are terrible. I do have him purely for parts. Bought him purely for the coat and did not buy anyone. I would buy her for the sword, but that's it. The rest are purely garbage. Any of the other DC figurines I bought are purely garbage and all used for accessory pieces. We have not yet used the body for a successful custom. We have used Marvel Legends. Each of these figurines, I've used their styles. Even McFarlane figurines that don't move, we have still cut limbs off and used them instead of using other limbs and found ways to use those. And yet they don't move. They're statues. I found ways to use them. I have still not one way found a positive way to use the parts from a DC Universe figurines and bodies, just because how poorly they are made, how poorly the execution is on them. It's always scrap pieces, purely scrap pieces. She may be the acceptance because her waist will get used, and that's purely because the netting is carved in there, and we will have to use it for a hooker, or a stripper, or something like that. We don't really dress our main characters in fishnet stockings because there's no reason for that hoe bagsness. But that's our review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys appreciated the little intake, a little piece of my mind on different figurines we bought, different styles, and the companies that are out there. Little Satan hopes you guys appreciate his little special of Loot Can of Treasure or Garbage. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Stay beautiful, honestly, guys.